She had her second cold, and it was like 3 days long. That was it. So she's had 2 colds, and she's been sick for maybe a total of like a little over a week. Like the first cold she had was like not quite a week, and then this cold was literally a couple of days. I was sick longer than she was. It's like, knock on wood, but she's just, you know, really great with all that stuff. So that's awesome. Like every child her age, she grabs every single thing in sight. Even things that you think she can't be able to reach, she shouldn't be able to reach, she does somehow. I don't know, like I told you guys, babies have some sort of magic. They get this stuff. She, I've said this before, but she still asks for things. She'll go, ah, and just like put out her hand and ask for it. And we really encourage that because it's much more polite than the, ah, you know, like the crying, I want that. So we really encourage whenever she asks, we're like, oh yes, and we let her check it out, whatever it is. She still sleeps really well. She sleeps through the night just like she has since she was tiny. I'd say a couple times a month she might wake up in the middle of the night, and it's usually probably when it's a growth spurt and she'll kind of be hungry, and she'll nurse, or I guess now she'll have a bottle and go right back to sleep, and that's only a couple times a month, so we're really good with the sleep thing. She goes to bed around 8, anywhere from 7:30 to about 9, depending on the activity of the day. And she wakes up about 7, so that's pretty dang good. And sometimes we'll hear her wake, like every once in a while I've heard her wake up during the night, but unless she cries, we don't go and get her, because she'll just wake up sometimes and talk a little. She'll go, like talk, I don't know if she's talking to a toy or just chatting to herself, but then she goes back to sleep. She puts herself back to sleep without ever even fussing or crying, which is great. So I make sure not to rush to her. Now if she starts to cry, we do go to her, because since Sophia is so good about not just waking up and crying, we're not worried about encouraging like a bad sleep behavior or bad sleep practices. If she's crying in the night, there's a reason. So we go to her. But like I said, that, I think, gosh, I'd say in the last 2-3 months that's happened one time where she woke up crying in the night. One time. And we think she might have been cold or something. I don't know. She was just sad. And that's like it. She's just really good with the sleep thing. Okay, so this is adorable. She poses for cameras now. Like when you have a camera, she'll go, like she smiles and kind of squints her eyes. It's not her real smile. Her real smile, her eyes are open really wide and it's like really pretty, but she'll go, hey, like that. It's so funny. And it's not a coincidence either. We were playing around with it this past week. And I would like say, okay, Sophie, and I'd hold the camera up. And it wouldn't be like she was reacting to me, because I would just sit there and go, just hold the camera, and she'd like be looking around, and then as soon as she looked at the camera, she'd smile. And my dad was cracking up about this. He was like, oh my gosh, how does she know how to mug it for the camera? And I was like, I don't know. So that was hilarious. I don't know, a lot of people keep saying that because of her her features with her, you know, bright blue eyes and everything, and since she clearly knows how to mug it up, I should try to put her into like commercials or something, which would be really fun, except, you know, there's not a big market for that in this area, so I don't really think she'd get jobs, but it's still cute. I like, you know, what mom doesn't like to hear that about their child, so yeah, but it's hilarious. I'm going to try to secretly film her one day. Like I'll set the camcorder up, and then I'll have my camera and film it, because it's funny. So that's why so many people are like, oh, you always have all these great pictures of Sophie looking right at you and smiling, like, how do you capture so many? And I'm like, it's because she just does it. Because as soon as I put the camera in front of her face, she's like, even though she's just 7 months old, or not even quite 8 months old. So anyway, that's really funny. She's definitely had the mommy attachment thing going on. My friend Jenny calls it mommyitis. And she definitely has that going on. I'm definitely her best friend right now, and she'll fuss at, you know, even my husband or like my mom, who she knows very well. Like sometimes she'll even give them a little bit of grief. But she just wants to know I'm there. And I do feel bad though. She makes things harder on my husband sometimes. Like there are activities that I'll do with her where I'll have her doing her independent playtime, like on her mat or something, and I'll just kind of sit on the couch and like let her explore the world for herself. And she's totally cool. She's happy. She'll play. She won't even really look at me. Like sometimes she'll look over at me, or sometimes she might want my attention, so then I'll go join her. But I can sit there and literally just like read a book or watch a show and like let her have her little independent playtime. My husband can't. When he tries to do that same thing, she gives him so much grief, and he'll just be like, and he doesn't mind playing with her, but you know, it's not like that. It's literally just, it's not fair that she's so much cooler about things with me. She lets me put her to sleep easier. She lets me feed her easier. She takes baths for me easier. Everything is more difficult when someone else is doing it. And so I do feel kind of bad because she lets me do things that everybody else, she gives them a hard time about. So, but you know, it's normal. That's just a normal developmental stage that they go through. And so she's still super cuddly, which I love because like not all babies are like that, and she is just a cuddle bug. Like she just cuddles up on you, and she'll nuzzle your neck, and she'll squeeze your arm, and she gives you those kisses, and sometimes she'll just look at you so lovingly and like pat your face, and you can just, I know she's saying I love you, like I know she is. And considering how active she is such an active child. And tangent really quickly, I know an active child because I have been around many babies, and I have watched them and taught them, and I know an active baby, and she is definitely an active baby category. So, man, anyway, but considering how active she is, most of the time in my experience, children that are that busy and that curious about the world and that active, they're not as cuddly. And that doesn't mean they love you any less, they're just not as cuddly. Like, they have better things to do. So they might cuddle right when they're sleepy, but that's it. So I'm really surprised but happy that Sophie is really super cuddly. Because even when she's really hyper, she'll be doing things and then she'll pause to give you a hug, or we call it lovin'. We're like, oh, she's giving lovin's. So anyway, it's really cute. And okay, so she about 2 months ago started waving, and she's not like great at it. She's better at it if you don't try to make her wave. She likes to just do it on her own time, and she waves to get your attention. So sometimes if you're like looking away or talking to someone, she'll just go like wave at you. It's really cute, so that's fun. She just started giving high fives, and she's really cute about it because she doesn't quite get that you need to like you know, slap it. She'll just kind of like, you'll be like, give me a high five, and she'll like put her little hand up and like kind of move it. And then sometimes if she wants, like, if you've done that a couple of times and then you stop, she'll like look at you and then she'll put her hand up like towards you because she wants you to do it to her. So it's really funny. And besides that, she's still bouncing constantly. That child just doesn't stop bouncing. Just bounce, 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 bounce. So on me, on the floor, and her exercise, it doesn't matter. She bounced. I should have got her a jumper, and I regret that because she would love it. So, and how old do jumpers go up? I don't even know. Cause I don't know. She would love a jumper. So I think that's it. That was really long. So there was a lot to tell you guys. So I will make sure to update more often so I don't have to have these super crazy long ones again, because that's a little too much action going on right there. Alright guys, so that's it for now. That's her update, and I will just talk to everybody later. Bye.